So I spoke about how there are certain and special wrestlers that have a unique ability to have chemistry with all wrestlers, because that is a rare trait. It's more rare than you think. And that can be a problem with booking and creative. So I get that. This next person that I'm gonna speak about is somebody that we don't even have to go to another company to get. I don't know what WWE is thinking sometimes, because we don't have to go out of the company to get the next big stars for the WWE. In NXT, there's a wrestler named Tony D'Angelo, if I'm not mistaken. Tony D'Angelo. If I'm saying the name wrong, then that's my bad. I apologize for that. Tony D'Angelo is an NXT wrestler. He's been in NXT for quite a while now, if I'm not mistaken. At least maybe 4 or 5 years now. When are y'all gonna bring this man to the main roster? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm asking for me. You know what I mean? If nobody else, I'm asking for me. When are y'all gonna bring Tony D'Angelo to the main roster? Why is he in NXT for so long? Is he about to spend another 2 or 3 years down in NXT? Is he not showing improving? Is something missing? Is he injured? Like, you know, I don't watch NXT that often, so I don't know. Maybe one of those things are true, because if it's not, again, what the hell are we really doing? Because the little that I have seen from Tony D'Angelo, his character is the exact character that the main roster desperately needs. The main roster needs more characters more than we need great wrestlers. And I know that might sound crazy, but again, we talking about professional wrestling on the highest level, WWE. Vince McMahon was the king of professional wrestling for that reason, because he knew how to blend the two. He gave you great wrestlers, but he gave you greater characters. And Tony D'Angelo has that type of character that could have feuds with everybody on the main roster. And as I alluded to earlier, that's a rare trait to have. That's rare that you could have a wrestler that could have a feud with everybody and it feel legitimate. Tony D'Angelo has this mafia character, and he also has a group that's almost like the mob. Basically, he's portraying to be a mobster. And that could seem corny if it's not done the right way, but Tony D'Angelo actually has talent, and he's made that character work. One of the times that I watched NXT, Tony D'Angelo had a feud with Santo Escobar, and Santo Escobar is currently on the main roster. But anyway, Tony D'Angelo had that feud with Santo Escobar, and it was one of the best things that I saw on NXT at that time, or any other time, because Santos Escobar had his own version of like a mafioso style character, and he had his own mob with him. You essentially saw the mob getting into it with each other. You saw two different versions of the mob having a feud with each other. That was on point, man. That was one of the highlights of NXT, in my opinion. That was some of the best storyline that I personally saw on NXT. So that same character could do that same thing with anybody on the main roster. Like, it speaks for itself. The character and the story literally writes itself. Tony D'Angelo plays that role 100% effective. Now, I don't know if he needs some in-ring work, because again, I haven't really been keeping up with NXT, so I'm not sure if it's something like that that's going on. Somebody needs to get on the phone and make that change. He needs to be called up to the main roster as soon as possible, because, like, again, what are we doing? Why are we wasting that potential down there when he's been down there long enough? Everything that he's doing character-wise fits with everybody on the roster. There's no other way for me to even say that. I'm trying to think of intelligent ways that I could break that down, but there's no other way I could break that down. The chemistry is flawless. He could have a match with anybody, including wrestlers who probably haven't been getting the biggest push, or wrestlers who've been stagnant with their characters. Tony D'Angelo could come in and give everybody the boost that they need, and now we could kind of recalibrate where everybody is at. So again, I don't know what the hell be going on at WWE, but would y'all please go to NXT and get Tony D'Angelo with his crew, bring him to the main roster, and just let that man shine. Let that man make y'all some money. And most importantly, let Tony D'Angelo help y'all make stars on the main roster. So please, NXT, WWE, get Tony D'Angelo where he needs to be. That's a future star in my opinion.